r/AskReddit by Reddit. Mothers of married sons who don't like their daughter-in-laws. What's your reason? My son married a psycho witch. First, she told him she was pregnant. Then she said she was having twins. A little while later, she said she lost the babies. Then she said one miraculously survived, but when she got her period she determined that it had died too. As soon as her period was over, she told him she was pregnant again, and she lost those babies too. She refused to take a pregnancy test and never once went to see a doctor, much less an OBGYN, although I offered to pay for it. Pretty sure the goof was never once pregnant. Son caught her cheating with her ex-boyfriend, and she claimed that her ex was raping her. Son called the police. The ex told the police that she'd traded sex for a cell phone. Then she accused my son of domestic violence. Cops didn't arrest him, though. They took her to a psychiatric hospital. Needless to say, I was happy when they divorced. But I keep a restraining order against her, just to make sure she never shows back up on my doorstep. Mother here of a son who is married. I didn't approve of the marriage from the beginning, even though my son is a grown man and of course can do whatever he wants. My son married a woman much older than himself, much older than me even. He is 43 now, and she is 70. I knew he didn't marry her for love, and only married her for what she had, and this alone peed me off. My son brought her to my house to meet me, and I was pleasant to her, she was pleasant to me, and to my mother, who was very ill at the time. My husband's wife however really didn't talk much, so it made for an awkward time. They only spent the night then left. My son continued living with me, and his wife continued living in another city for quite a long time. Every time my son would go to stay with his wife he came home complaining about her. I never heard anything good, only bad, so of course this made me dislike her even more. Fast forward. They get into a big argument while my son was staying with his wife, and he comes back home again, complaining about her. He told me she wanted to come to my house to see him, and he told her not to come. She did anyway. As I stated, my very ill mother was here, and my son's wife comes here uninvited. She pulls up on the sidewalk for some weird reason, and comes to the door. My son refused to go outside, and he told me not to open the door, so I didn't. His wife continues ringing the doorbell, making the dogs go insane. Then she starts knocking, and tries to look in through my windows. My son calls the police, and the next thing I know, his wife is in handcuffs. My son goes outside to talk to the officers, and he had his wife trespassed. I had to sign it. It was ridiculous. They are still together I guess, but I haven't talked to my son since before Christmas, so I don't know. I'm glad I only have one son. Your son sounds like the butthole. The mother-in-law hate here is scary. I'm a mother of 3 sons. One of them is married, and until very recently, I absolutely adored my daughter-in-law. She was the daughter I didn't have. They gave me the most amazing granddaughter. My daughter-in-law did, however, bring a level of drama to our lives that we were not accustomed to, and that was hard to adjust to. Being a household of primarily males, there just was not much drama. The daughter-in-law is 9 years older than my son. They started dating when my son was 19. I was very concerned about the age difference, but I always treated her respectfully and with kindness. They are amidst divorce now, and I'm not thrilled with her behavior over the past 6 months. My reason is that she knew she was dating a very young man, and they knew when they decided to marry and have a child that the young man was still quite young. My daughter-in-law remains flummoxed that my son, who is 23 now, hasn't turned into a 30-year-old adult like she is. Some red flags did go off for me as I observed her own relationship with her mother. They were quite harsh with each other, but I tried not to let that affect my acceptance of her, and she became an integral part of our family. Nonetheless, she has treated my son poorly, and I no longer like her. It has nothing to do with competing with her. It has to do with how she is now treating him and us. This potential mother-in-law is open to any potential daughter-in-law or same-sex partner any of my boys become involved with. I want my sons to have loving relationships in their lives, and I would never do anything to hinder whoever they choose to share their lives with. Not all mothers-in-law are horrible people. I was with a woman I thought would be my wife. We talked about it. looked at rings etc. She was Catholic. I'm not. Her mom hated my guts because I wasn't Catholic. Her mom would send her emails monthly saying, he isn't Catholic. He's not rich and never will be. Find yourself a rich Catholic boy so you don't have to work. etc etc. The mom got to the point where she spread rumors to my ex's friends about me. So now the mom and a bunch of her friends don't like me. So she left me in January. I've barely spoken to her. I got in touch with her the other day and told her how badly I want her back. Turns out, she's got herself a wealthy Catholic boyfriend now. 3 years being with her and being broken up for 4 months. I still dream about her every night and she moved on a few weeks after the split. Feels bad, man. My grandma hated my uncle's wife. I think it was pure jealousy. Grandma was a bit of a controlling type and hated being replaced. She treated my uncle like a child. Sadly, he died of cancer while still pretty young. Grandma tried to rewrite the obituary and managed to annoy my uncle's wife and children for a very long time. My mom hated my brother's first wife. There were plenty of good reasons. She was an addict, a liar, and a cheater, among other things. My mother-in-law didn't hate me, but she didn't love me either. She resented me and wanted to be the only woman in my husband's life. It was obvious that she would have felt like that about anyone. I did not like my son's first girlfriend. She seemed very disinterested in everything but herself and her phone. I didn't really know her well or for long, but struggled to see what he liked about her beyond her looks. She was pretty. Lots of people here. I bet family reunions are fun. I know why my mom doesn't like my sister-in-law. She's unpleasant and mean. Every time we went to visit, she will make sure there's at least one fight. With my brother, at least one yelling, drag out fight. So now every time we are trying to enjoy a visit, it's tense because we are waiting for the inevitable. Watching my nephew watch his parents scream at each other is the worst part. My brother went from doing okay, having friends and a sense of humor, and some stuff, to now being overweight, unhappy, and having nothing to do on the weekends but drink and watch TV, which she then picks a fight about. He's so wrapped up in it, even when I try to get him alone for a while, it takes him a while to unwind. Otherwise, he puts me down, so he doesn't feel awful. It sucks. I used to be best friends with my brother, and Ma knows it too, and hates her as much as she can. Mainly, it's pity because it's clear she's a miserable person. My mother-in-law is a fundamentalist Christian who pretends to like me, but I know if I broke up with her son she would be more than overjoyed. Over the past 10 years she has said and done things that show her true colors. Myself and her ex-pastor son are atheists. His parents are relentless and creative in their tactics for us to return to the fold. She has said some incredibly rude things about non-Christians. What she doesn't consider is this is one of the many reasons why we don't believe or participate. Okay, so I don't like fruit pies. Big ducking whoop. This became a big deal to her. When we first started dating she told my SO she's not like us. When he questioned her about it, she told him it was because I don't like pie. He basically rolled his eyes at her. Yeah, so for every birthday for 6 years she'd bake me an apple pie. I'd politely choke down a piece, and she would stand smiling her ducking face off, and then say, oh, right, you don't like pie. You shouldn't feel like you need to eat that for my benefit. My saving grace is I'm a clean eater now, over 60 pounds down, and I don't eat sugar, meat, flour, etc. This has also created its own issue. I'm very appreciative when we are invited for a meal, even though I now have to bring my own food. She will not stop putting marshmallows on the sweet potato, sugar in the peas, bacon fat in her salad dressing, heaps of butter and sour cream in the potatoes, and then complains to me she can't seem to get to the same weight as me. She's got 30 plus years on me, and every time she sees me, she asks my current weight, and when I tell her I don't know she'll pout and grumble under her breath about it. Which, I work out every ducking day and I basically eat vegetables. This is not ducking easy, and it's also not for everyone. I don't judge anyone for their weight, that's your crap to deal with. I have plenty of my own baggage I'm lugging around. She's actually grabbed my hips and jiggled me like a side of beef trying to guess. Don't get me wrong, I really do love and appreciate her and what she has done for us. I feel that she's made zero attempt to get to know me. She basically knows where I work and where I live, but has never asked me about my life, ever. She has no ducking clue that both my brothers are gay. Haha. Thank you for watching Reddit. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more r/AskReddit videos. Share your stories in the comments section below.